Hello and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton's Communications and Marketing Department. And today we're going to talk to you a little bit about a special opportunity you could have to make an impact in the lives of children in Hampton. My guests are from Social Services, Allison, Davidson, and Shirley, Bowie. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you.
Foster parenting. I think people have a lot of different images out there of what it is and who can do it. Can you give us just a short intro on who needs foster care and why?
The children that are in need of foster care right now are abused and neglected children, as well as youth that may be experiencing some truancy issues with school, or they may be in some juvenile probation type situations. And we need parents that are going to be willing to come in and just to care for them temporarily.
And it really is temporary.
It really is temporary.
I mean, it could end up being permanent and they could end up being adoptable, but by and large, this is a temporary situation where kids have been removed from a home for some reason. Either their parents can't deal with them or more often they had a problem.
And you're right, Robin.
Parents had a problem.
These children, we may not even have custody of them. It may be that the parents just say, I need a break. I need a day or two break. You know, I may need a weekend break. And so we are there to support the families within the city of Hampton in any way and in capacity that we can, and that would be to help diffuse any type of escalating situation that's going on, which may mean that the children need to come out just for a day or two or a weekend. But we also need foster parents for children that have large sibling groups.
I bet they're especially hard to place, right? Somebody who maybe can take one child is great, but somebody who could take 3 or 4.
Right, because we definitely do not want to split the family up. Foster care, right? Yeah. Foster care and an out-of-home placement is traumatizing enough, and that's something that we do not want to re-traumatize children or even create any more hurt or pain on them.
Well, and kids who've been in a bad situation, you know, maybe bond together, those siblings, and that's kind of all they have. And I can see you don't want to split that up if you don't.
They don't get to take their pillow with them, you know, but yet if they can have their siblings there, something that's familiar. Something that they can hold on to, and just knowing that they're strong together as a family, we're gonna do every effort we can to keep them together, and that's why we are trying to get families, foster families, who can come in and be able to temporarily care for the youth as well as for large sibling groups, medical special needs. You know, whatever it is that if a family's coming to us in need, we want to be able to be there to meet their needs and to support them.
Wow. Now, so maybe I'm intrigued by this and a little bit interested, but just scared. I mean, I have no idea how to do this. You do training for people though, right? You don't just throw them into the deep end and say, go.
Exactly. We do training. We do a program called Pride Pre-Service Training. So we are excited because we are getting ready to start a new training for therapeutic foster parents, and that will be starting in August. And so we will be doing 3 sessions in August for our therapeutic foster parents.
So what kind of, explain to me how you're going to give me enough confidence to do this in this training. You're going to give me the tools so that I'm not going to mess up too much.
Well, we're going to talk about all the type of behaviors that our kids might have through our training program. The curriculum is a 9-session and talks about a lot of things, and one of the things that we talk about is the type of behaviors. And so sometimes we will ask them to do a lot of homework as well. So we have it very, very detailed in our training program that will equip the parents so they are ready to go when they're finished that training program.
Now, what are the ground rules of who can volunteer? Does it have to be a married couple? Does it have to be a certain age?
Excellent question. You need to be at least, you could be single or married, or you could be even divorced or widowed. So you need to have very flexibility in your work schedule.
That I think would be key. You know, you can't, it may not be a daycare thing. You might, need to take somebody to a doctor or to a specialist or a therapist or whatever. Okay.
Exactly. You need to be at least 21 years old. And you need to have a very, your financial situation need to be very self-sufficient, where you're able to take care of your basic needs.
Right, okay. So nobody's in this for the money, basically.
Right.
Basically, you're going to maybe provide, I don't know, a little stipend or a little help with food or something, but this is not going to provide my income. I can't go into it with that expectation.
Right. There is, the state provides a reimbursement and some money to be able to care for the children because they do realize that it is an additional expense. And we want to make sure that the needs of the children are taken care of.
Right.
And this payment is based on the child's needs. You know, it's not just based on, you know, a set amount or anything like that, but we do look to see as to what it's going to take to care for that child in a 24-hour period or in a week, you know, whatever that it is. And we're going to be there to support that and to make sure that everything is there for the family so that it's not too traumatizing for the child.
So in my mind, I'm seeing retired or early retired people would be ideal in terms of having a little bit of a more flexible schedule, and also I'm going to say that sometimes retired military might also be a good example for maybe a teen in trouble or something like that. Be able to provide the structure that someone needs. But what are some other examples of people who make people in different circumstances who make good foster care parents?
Definitely, like you mentioned, retirees and also teachers that's already working with kids.
Oh yeah, in the
clinicians.
summer, sure.
We have quite a few providers that are pretty much know the type of kids that we are working with, and so they already have that experience.
So someone who is familiar with kids, has a home big enough to have an extra bedroom or two, or you know, potentially even more if that's possible. What else? What other skills or qualities are you looking for?
Well, we definitely we talked about really liking kids. That's the basics. You really need to like kids and enjoy having kids around. And so you need to look at your situation and see whether or not this is something you want to do, because we want people that really enjoy working with kids.
When people do this, you know, once or twice, do they get hooked? Do they come back?
Oh, they do. As a matter of fact, yesterday morning I was talking with a foster parent who took her first teenager, and she's a single parent, and for the first time as a respite, which is a temporary placement, and it was going to be for a week. And she says, I said, I know, I'm so proud of you. And I knew that she was petrified. And she says, I was so scared. And she says, but you know what? She says, now after we've already gone, she goes, it was such a breeze. And she says, I don't even know what I was so scared about. And so I was there to just be able to say, I'm glad I see the growth, and would you be willing to come and talk with other people who may be scared and, you know, in their shoes like you were before, and kind of maybe your experience would help calm their nerves to where it's not so scary for them. But single mothers, I mean, I can understand to take in the teenage male, you know, and you don't know anything about him or anything like that.
Teenage males are scary when they're your own.
Right.
I mean, teenagers are scary. Let's face it, they're on a different planet than the rest of us.
And he needed supervision, and she worked. And so what we did is we provided a service that during the day while she's working, we have an agency, a community partner that comes in and is able to care for him and provide the supervision that he needs while the foster parent is working.
That's great. Is the biggest need teenagers right now? I mean, all of us, I think it's a little easier to place a cuddly baby than it might be an angry teen who might be angry for all kinds of good reasons of things that have happened to him or her, but are nonetheless, you know, babies don't act out as much. I mean, they cry a lot, but, you know.
Yes, we are in great need for families that are willing to step up and be able to just share their family experience with another youth. And it is, as you said, Robin, it is easy to be able to place a cuddly little infant and little baby. But the youth have so much to offer. You can learn from every single child that's placed in any home. And that's what's so wonderful, is that everybody comes to us with great strengths. Now, there might be some difficulties that they're experiencing in their family and in their lives at that time, but we're going to work through them. And we're going to provide the support and the services to help the child, to help the family, and to assist them and to empower them to be able to be reunified.
Well, and that is the ultimate goal, is to put that child back in his or her own family or relatives, but to have them better able to care for the child and to provide what the child needs.
Exactly, most definitely.
So I would think part of it also might be, you know, you get a little attached to someone that you take in. Is that hard for parents sometimes?
Sometimes it is. We tell our parents to guard their heart, because that is true.
Because you want them to open their heart, but not too much, right?
Not too much, right. And we also pair our families up with other families that are seasoned, and they've been with us a while, and they have had the same experiences, and they can talk together.
That's true.
Well, is there anything else that, maybe I've been watching this TV show called The Fosters, and, it's been really enlightening and interesting to see those kids' experience and how they, become part of a family. Do people get, what's a wonderful story that you can tell me about a success?
We actually had a family that this was their first placement, and it was of some small children that were coming into their home. And they were nervous, and being their first placement, having foster children and then having two. This placement went so well, and they worked with the family so well that they actually transitioned, when the children transitioned back home, they were there and willing to be able to provide support to the parents as an ongoing basis and then transition out. It's not just taking in a child, but it's a whole family, making Hampton's family stronger so that they can stand on their own, but still have somebody to hold their backs up in case they kind of fall back or slip back just a little. And it was amazing to be able to see this just actually go out right before our eyes. I mean, it was just so wonderful, and it was good for the children. It was wonderful.
And isn't that nice? And the old adage about it takes a village, and some people don't have a village,
Exactly.
They're either young and single and don't have their own parent support, or they're military and they haven't been here long and they just don't have that extended family to help them. So if we can give them those extra resources and give children the extra adults that all of us need if we don't have aunts and
Correct.
uncles and grandparents around.
Correct.
That is correct.
Okay, so you've gotten us motivated now, and hopefully the people out there are excited. What do they need to do?
They need to give me a call. Again, my name is Allison Davidson. Call me right there at Hampton Department of Human Services or Social Services. And the number is 757-727-1946.
Okay.
You can also contact Ms. Tina Harris. Her number is 757-727-1929.
All right, and I'm also going to say you can always call 311. If you forget a phone
Exactly.
number, call 311. They'll put you in touch. We have the website on hampton.gov, and we're going to re-air this because I'm going to predict that you're going to get calls, but you're always going to need families. So don't wait for a training period. Call and get on the list. You guys have periodic trainings, can bring people up to speed, and hopefully we will be the village that will help take care of the kids in need.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope that you will reach in your heart and see if you have time and resources to be able to help some kids. And try it once, do a respite, do a one day, and see if you can be that resource that our children need. Thank you for watching.